In the world of sports, athletes aren't just judged by their performances on the field or court. They're scrutinized for their opinions, tweets, clothing, and every facial expression they make. But what happens when that scrutiny crosses the line? What happens when it feels less like criticism and more like coded language? Dog whistles, or straight-up racism. This is the story of Ryan Clark, RG3, and Angel Reese, three black sports figures who recently found themselves at the center of a firestorm. Whether it was a careless tweet, a tone-deaf image, or flat-out disrespect from the media, each incident pulled back the curtain on something much deeper: the double standards that exist in sports media. Angel Reese has never been afraid to be herself, outspoken, unapologetic, and dominant on the basketball court. But that very confidence has made her a lightning rod in the media. From her iconic taunt to Caitlin Clark in the 2023 NCAA Championship to her current WNBA run with the Chicago Sky, Angel has been under a microscope. Recently, she's faced increased scrutiny from commentators questioning her attitude, her sportsmanship, and whether she's good for the game. But the tone surrounding Angel's coverage raised a red flag for many. Words like ghetto, classless, and problematic were subtly, and sometimes not so subtly, attached to her name. When other WNBA stars like Caitlin Clark showed the same fire, they were described as competitive, fiery, or passionate. Enter Ryan Clark, the former NFL safety and ESPN analyst. Clark took to social media and called out what he saw as a double standard. "I'm tired of watching young black women be picked apart because you don't like their confidence. Y'all cheer it when it comes from others, but when Angel Reese does it, it's an issue." His tweet sparked major traction, but it's also made him a target for backlash. While Ryan Clark was defending Angel Reese, Robert Griffin III, RG3, former NFL quarterback turned ESPN analyst, was embroiled in his own controversy. In an attempt to comment on race and hypocrisy in media coverage, RG3 tweeted an image that backfired horribly. The image was a split screen showing Angel Reese on one side and a black woman from a viral mugshot on the other. Captioned with something akin to, "Why does the media try to paint her like this?" His intention may have been to criticize how the media villainizes black athletes, but his execution was flawed. Using a real-life mugshot of another black woman, who had no connection to Reese, was seen as deeply offensive and irresponsible. Twitter erupted. Critics slammed RG3 for exploiting another black woman's image to make a point, with some even calling it internalized racism. Eventually, RG3 deleted the tweet and issued an apology. He said his intent was to spotlight unfair treatment, not perpetuate it, but the damage had already been done. Ryan Clark didn't stay silent after RG3's tweet. In fact, he called out his ESPN colleague in no uncertain terms. "If you care about protecting black women, you wouldn't use one as a meme, period." That tweet alone sent ripples through social media, but what followed stirred even more backlash. Clark then tweeted something suggesting that RG3's own wife wouldn't approve of the image he posted, a reference many interpreted as bringing a family member into the conversation unnecessarily. This escalated things further. Critics quickly pointed out that involving RG3's wife was uncalled for, even if the intention was to highlight personal accountability. Within hours, Clark issued a public backtrack, clarifying that his comment was out of bounds and that he meant no harm to RG3's family. "I was wrong for that. I let my emotions get the best of me. That part of my response was unnecessary." Let's zoom out. This controversy didn't start with Angel Reese, and it definitely won't end with her. Black athletes, especially women, are often held to a different standard. They're expected to be grateful, humble, and silent. The moment they show any form of self-assurance or clap back at critics, they're labeled as threatening, ungrateful, or toxic. When Caitlin Clark talks trash, it's competitive spirit. When Angel Reese does it, it's too much. When Nikola Jokic walks off the court, he's stoic. When a black player does the same, they're disrespectful. This script is old, and both Ryan Clark and RG3 were trying, in their own ways, to rewrite it. But while Clark took the path of direct confrontation, RG3's attempt at satire fell flat and caused harm. As the controversy continued to swirl, other influential voices in sports began chiming in, and many of them came to Angel Reese's defense. Most notably, Shaquille O'Neal didn't mince words. Leave Angel Reese alone. She's playing ball, breaking records, and handling pressure better than most y'all ever could. Stop with the coded messages. Stop with the hate. Shaq's support carried weight, not just as a Hall of Famer, but as someone who's long been a mentor and advocate for younger athletes navigating fame and media bias. Other athletes, current and retired, echoed similar sentiments. From NBA players to WNBA veterans, a wave of tweets and interviews poured in, calling out the disproportionate criticism Reese faces compared to her white counterparts. Even former players in the media, including Channing Frye and Chiney Ogwumike, emphasized how damaging biased media framing can be for young black women in sports. Suddenly, the debate wasn't just about Angel Reese or RG3's post or Ryan Clark's tweets. It'd become a national conversation about race, gender, and accountability in sports journalism. This isn't just about a tweet or a hot take. It's about the media's power to shape narratives and the responsibility that comes with that power. Athletes like Angel Reese are not just basketball players. They're young women navigating immense pressure, racial expectations, and constant judgment, all while doing their jobs under a microscope. Analysts like Ryan Clark and RG3 aren't just talking heads. They are voices with platforms whose words influence public opinion and cultural conversations. In this story, there's no perfect hero, just three black public figures trying to navigate a space that isn't always built to protect them. And maybe that's the takeaway. In a world quick to criticize, what does it look like to protect without harming, to support without silencing, to defend without degrading? Because if we're going to uplift black athletes, especially black women, we need to learn how to do it right.